Hello and welcome to Weide-Market by Jurie Weidemann. That's me, if you were wondering. This channel is dedicated to figuring out your growth from where you are right now to genuine wealth. Genuine wealth, as you'll see in the rest of the video, is consisting of financial wealth, obviously, social wealth, physical wealth, and time wealth. And all four of these are important or need to be measured in equal amounts into what I see as genuine wealth. In this video, we're going to be talking about doing a quarterly review of your personal finances. Why should you do that, and why is it important? And more importantly, how do you do this quarterly review? Let's take a look. Come a little closer. If you haven't realized it by now, we're finishing off the first quarter of 2021. It's the end of March, and there are a few things that we need to discuss. Okay, now back up. Firstly, have you set your goals for the year? If you haven't, that's fine as well. If you've set goals, what do they look like? Have you achieved some of those goals? Great if you have. But I suspect that most people watching this video have not achieved the goals that they wanted to, or may have let go of their resolutions for the year completely by now. So why is it important to even begin doing a quarterly review of your personal growth as well as of your personal finances? Well, it gives you a good feel of where you are in terms of reaching your goals at the end of the year, and it gives you an understanding of where you are currently, and you may be able to identify some adjustments that need to be made. So it's all good and well to set lofty and even scary goals, but there's no point if you can't achieve them and if you can't improve on where you are right now to where you want to be. For this reason, it is important to keep a journal of your journey from where you are, from where you started. If you are a day trader or a part-time trader, I'd suggest you check out a previous video I did right here about whether or not your trading journal is actually making a difference in your trading results and how you might want to structure your journal. Now, although this video is about traders and journaling your trades, I think a journal on your journey is important because you can look back at it and realize where you've come from and see how far you've come. But also it gives you something to analyze the steps along the way and maybe identify places of where you could still improve. So like I've been saying, it is important to measure your goals. But in order for you to measure your goals, they actually need to be measurable in the first place. So how do you set measurable goals? Well, goals should always be SMART. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound or time-based. In other words, you can quantify your goals and break them into smaller tasks and goalposts or milestones. So let's talk a little bit about what should you actually review. Review your spending habits and try to find habits, good or bad, and then analyze those habits. Do more of the good habits and do less of the bad habits. Identify when the bad habits occur, what were the circumstances, and this is where your journal comes in. Understand why you spent money impulsively on things that you weren't planning to buy. This will give you an understanding of your own psychology when making these purchases, and also gives you some hooks in your subconscious to, when you get to such a situation again, you'll remember that no, this is something I identified as something I do not want to do, and it'll give you a little bit more stopping power to say, no, this is the unnecessary purchase, this is an impulse buy, I do not want to do this at this stage. And then identifying the good habits, try and do more of those. The saving, the investments, the research that you do for the investments, the time you spend on valuable relationships in your life, the effort you put into finding out what those people need and offering them that value into their lives as well as they offer value into your life. Assess where you are with your fitness goals and also where you are with your social and time-based goals. So these spending habits, obviously we're talking mostly financial, but we're also talking spending or investing in the relationships, your health, and the time that you have here on earth. The next thing you need to review is your savings. How far have you progressed? Have you progressed at all? Have you gone backwards? Why have you done so? And review where you are right now. The goals you set at the beginning of the year is all good and well, but there has been 3 months lapsed since then till now, and you need to review and reassess where you are at this stage in your life, and then make the necessary adjustments if any are necessary. The things your savings need to include is your emergency fund, your savings towards some big goal, whether it be a holiday, buying a new car, buying a home, buying an investment property, for those big purchases, as well as your retirement and your kids if you have any educational funds. Now it's time to review your investments. At this stage, you don't necessarily want to make any changes to your investments. You should only make changes to your investments every once or twice a year, maximum twice a year. But you want to be able to understand where you are. Did you make a good decision when you bought these investments in the first place? How are they faring? Are they dismally going wrong? In which case you might want to reassess. But the review is really just to see the progress that has happened in the last 3 months. Remember that your investment is a long-term goal, and this is something you don't want to fiddle in the short term. Next, let's review your debt. How much progress have you made? Obviously, your debt is something that you pay off on a monthly basis, but you want to review it on a quarterly basis to see if there's anything you can readjust to snowball your debt quicker, or maybe there's some cash you can squeeze out somewhere to add into the snowball effect of paying your debt off as quick as possible. If you have not started making a dent in your debt, it is time to seriously review why this is happening and why you haven't made the progress you wanted to with the debt you have. Really focus on paying off your debt as quickly as possible. Now, having measured all your progress up until this point, it's time to review your financial goals, or rather your wealth goals. How are you doing in terms of your fitness? How are you doing in terms of your relationships, business and personal? How are you doing in terms of your financial goals? And how are you doing in the investment in your own time? Are you getting enough personal alone time? Are you getting enough one-on-one time with the people that are important in your life? And are you getting enough group time or social grouping, social visits? In these times in COVID, it is a difficult thing to necessarily achieve, but you need to understand that every person in your life needs all three of these different kinds of time. So let's review what your wealth goals are and how are you faring. Up until this point, we've been measuring. Now we need to see if we need to make any adjustments to the goals that we've set at the beginning of the year. And once again, this is where it really gets personal. You've set goals that are personal and unique to you. To you, I mean. Review in terms of that. Review in terms of what matters to you. And make that more personal, make the adjustments. At this point, you don't necessarily want to make changes in the time that you want to achieve that at, like I said earlier, remember that reaching your goals is rarely linear. You might just overcome that one barrier and reach a goal that you set for yourself. But you have to be realistic about the expectations you have of achieving those goals. Manage your expectations and remember to celebrate the small wins along the way. So maybe at the end of this quarter of 2021, you're sitting and you're feeling despaired, or you're feeling overcome by how much you still want to get done, or how little you've done up until this point. No worries, you might have hit a bump in the road, or you might have hit a pothole the size of your car. We are in South Africa. There are holes this big in South Africa on South African roads. But you can always climb out. You can always, luckily it's raining a lot at the moment in South Africa, so you can always swim to the side of the pothole and get out. Dust yourself off, review where you are, look back for a second to understand where you've come from, reassess your current situation, and then with a wiser understanding and better knowledge, because of the experience you've had, you can start taking steps into the right direction. No experience is bad experience, as long as you learn the lesson that needs to be learned from it. So you're a little tired, you've worked hard the last 3 months. When you get tired, don't quit. Learn to take a break, learn to rest and reset. Keep going, don't quit. Don't get to this point and throw the complete plan out the window and just forget about it. Make the adjustments, reassess your situation. Get some counsel from people who's been where you are. Get some counsel from people who've done what you want to get done. Or just get counsel from people who have reached a certain level of success. You might not want to achieve the same success or even in the same sector as them, but they can give you guidelines and good counsel to what you should be doing next. Once you've assessed the damage, you've made the necessary adjustments, you've decided on the next step, get going. You might just surprise yourself and overachieve your goals by the end of the year. Remember, it's never too late. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not incompetent, you're not too tired. You have enough time, and you have the value and the energy to bring to this world. And you can enjoy giving the value and your passion and your vision and sharing it with the world and getting energy from that without being taken advantage of. The only reason, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, the only reason you feel that you've been taken advantage of is that you were doing it for the wrong reasons. You were doing it to get something back. But if you share your value with the world without expecting anything back, there's no reason for anybody to want to take advantage of you, or you feeling that you got taken advantage of, because you were just sharing what you feel your value is into the world. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Make the most of it. Do that thing that scares you. Yes, take some time out to create at least half a plan, but don't let that stop you. Get going, get started, learn on the job, make mistakes, learn from them, adjust and keep going. If getting started is something that scares you or something that seems to be a daunting thing to do, I suggest you check out this video of mine that I did in the past about just getting started. It contains a lot of nuggets from a guy called Vusi Tembukwayo. If you're a South African and you're into business, you should at least know of him. If you don't, go Google the man. He's quite inspirational and he has a lot of knowledge and experience and passion to share with South Africans about building businesses and the economy in South Africa. Now that you've done a quarterly review of your current wealth situation in the 4 quadrants that I use, the financial, social, physical and time wealth quadrants, you can be sure that you are in a good position to get started or to reset and and restart again. Richard Branson says, if someone offers you an opportunity, say yes and then learn how to do it. So I really want to encourage you to get going. Remember, if you give this video a like, you might just find more favor in the world. Nah, I'm kidding. But I'll really appreciate a thumbs up or two on this video. So your support would be greatly appreciated. Leave some comments below on what you think about this video or other content that you might want to see on this channel. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for future videos. Thank you for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video. Be blessed. Cheers.